Do you guys hear that?
Is that boss music?
Go naked and just go with the sword, and that's it.
What do I do with all this?
It says it in the title.
I'm a slut for roguelites. Well, howdy there. Welcome to the Unearthing Games Podcast. My name's Jacob. I'll be your lead excavator today. And I am joined by...
Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Erica.
And we dig games. So how's everybody doing today? Huh?
Doing pretty well.
Yeah, doing okay.
Yeah. Nick, what have you been up to this week?
This week. Okay, so I found the crocheted hat, the hat that Erica crocheted me. Found it in storage, so excited about that. It does not have a poofy, so I'm sad about that, but that's okay. It's still a great hat. It is actually very warm. It is a very warm hat, so this would be great for, actual cold winter weather, like we don't get here in Texas, So that was a really great thing. Other than that, honestly, so a bunch of new titles came onto Game Pass here in December, and so I downloaded one called Control. I think it got nominated for Game of the Year last year, or maybe it won Game of the Year. I don't know. It got a lot of awards and accolades and stuff, but I hadn't played it because it's a AAA title, and I generally don't. I don't buy into the whole paying $60 for a game as soon as it drops without actually hearing reviews and stuff about it. I'll drop $10 on a game as soon as it drops, willy nilly, because even if it's kind of fun, you get your $10 worth. But $60 is a lot to spend on a game that you may not enjoy. But
yeah,
I'm totally gonna have to go and buy this game now because I've playing it on Game Pass. It is amazing, but Game Pass does not give you the DLC, and apparently it has 2 DLC.
Oh man!
So I'm really enjoying it. It's some funky game where you're a psychic and you're in you're in this place called the Federal Bureau of Control, and it's
nice.
The government agency that deals with supernatural nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bit weird. I'm not gonna get all into that. So I've been playing that a lot. I've been playing the game that I'm gonna talk about today, which is I'm super excited about. Other than that, though. I finally had to go into the office today after,
Oh, yeah.
Goodness, it's been it's been 9 months. 9 months since I've been into the office. I had to go in because my work laptop it said my work password was expiring in 2 days, and my laptop wouldn't let me actually log into the network because it needed updates from the network specifically. So I had to go into the office and hide in a corner and hope no one breathed on me.
Nice.
But I got it updated, and then we had In-N-Out Burger for lunch, so that was fun.
Hey.
But yeah, so other than that, just gaming, daily Fortnite stuff and all that.
All right. Erica, what have you been up to?
I've just been working a lot. I played the game I'm going to talk about this week. What did we do the night before that, though? Well, the past 2 nights I was playing games for this podcast, so I'm not going to talk about those yet. Yeah, that's pretty much it, though. I haven't done much this weekend.
Much of anything?
It was a lazy weekend. And
Really
then work
was.
this week has been pretty intense, so... I haven't even figured out what I'm going to start knitting next, and I'm very upset about that.
Well, it looks like Jacob could really use a Santa hat.
I could really use a hat.
I've got plenty of yarn. I can do that.
Well, you'd be competing because...
I know. I can't... Well, yeah, see, I can't do it because someone else is supposed to do that. I won't say supposed to, but...
But is she making you a Santa hat?
I don't know if it's a Santa hat, but I was there this past weekend, and...
Was it red?
So just
was it red?
Be careful, Jacob. If she gives you a sweater, that means that she wants out.
Don't... It's a sweater curse. Don't do it.
Don't accept it. Take it. Burn it.
Yep.
This'll never end. No.
Yeah. So what about you, Jake? What have you been up to?
Oh, it's been lazy over here. My semester is over, so I started working 8 hours a day which is going to be fantastic when paychecks hit.
Yeah.
But it means I don't really have much time left for much of anything else.
Oh no. However will you fit in your video games with a full-time job?
Yeah, I
You
worked
don't-
10 hours today. I don't want to hear any of that nonsense.
See, I'm not looking forward to real professional work. I don't want it. But now I actually managed to do some of the later unlocks from Cliff Empire. What I mentioned last time I was on when I talked about Cliff Empire.
Yeah.
That I hadn't exactly gotten to everything that the game had to offer. And so I'm slowly making my way there. Very slowly. The game doesn't really move that quickly. Even though I have it on the max speed setting.
That's like city builders, right? I mean, they never go fast.
No. But even the events don't come up that often.
Oh.
So it doesn't matter. That's what I've been doing. I was working on that. And work. That's really all I've had time for.
Yeah.
Did you get to space?
I haven't gotten space yet.
I saw that in a video. I didn't know it was a thing until watching the video, and it's someone's building a space station, and I was like, I thought this was about cliffs.
Nope. Nope, it's an empire, Nick.
When did it turn into Kerbal Space Program?
Right. I think there's one thing that I have to unlock first, I think, to get that. I have to go through a couple more events before I can get that, to get to space. But then it's from space, what do you do?
The moon?
It's wild. It's
You're
gonna be
in
great.
space.
Yeah, but what do you do? There has to be something else.
You go find cliffs on the moon.
Oh, Lord.
Well, so when you're in space, is it just a space station you're building? I assume you're...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I assume you're on a planet already, or a moon already.
Yeah. Well, you're on Earth. You're on...
Well, yeah,
destroyed
but when you
Earth.
go into space, I would assume that you would go to the moon.
Yeah.
Instead of
I have
just
no
a
idea.
little space station.
No idea. Haven't gotten there yet. Slowly working on it. I'm kind of stressing out because I feel like my Animal Crossing village has forgotten about me.
Aww.
So I haven't been able to play Animal Crossing in a few days because I never have time when I get back.
The Switch is mobile, man. Take it with you.
I know the Switch is mobile.
When
but
you're
I wanna
having
play it on my
lunch, whip
TV.
it out. Check your village,
See, but I'm not always at my apartment for lunch. I don't. It's.
Switch is
I know it.
mobile.
I only have an hour anyway.
Only
There's
an
that.
hour.
Can't check his village in less than an hour.
Okay, so that's.
They won't get the attention they need if it's just an hour.
Yeah, I can't go visit every single one of my villagers in an hour. But
And then he's supposed to eat during that time too. You can't expect that much of him.
yep.
He just eats
I have
ramen.
task. I just told you about air frying sandwiches, which is my new hobby. It's going to become a thing. It's going to be great.
I really wonder,
And,
you need to try to do an air fried grilled cheese.
That would actually probably work pretty well.
Let us know how that works out.
Yeah, that I would totally do that. It'd be so much faster.
Do I still have to
and
butter the
easier.
bread? Because
Yeah, well, you would
If I-
butter it first and then put it in there.
I don't own butter.
Well, because you're air frying it, you might not have to butter it. You might be able to just throw it in there and have toasted bread with melty cheese.
Yeah, it just
Anyway,
wouldn't.
we're
taste
getting
the
onto
same.
food. It's not what this podcast is about.
It's not.
We're talking about games and new ones that we've played. Nick, what was your game you played? Your new game.
Ooh, yes. So, the new game that I played this week is another roguelike. Go figure.
Actually, this is a rogue light.
Ooh,
Is it light?
Get told.
Yes, with a T.
Ah, my eyes have deceived me. It is. Oh, sorry, pupper. It is a roguelite called Bad North by Plausible Concept and published by Raw Fury. So, I don't know where I heard about this game. I'm pretty sure I picked it up on a Steam sale or something like that. But the game is adorable. The base concept is you are like Nordic warriors, like you're people who live like in like the Scandinavian, Iceland region kind of thing like that. And you are protecting your islands from Viking invaders. You know?
Nice.
So the progression is similar to that of FTL, where like it has a big map, and you start on the left-hand side, and you slowly work your way to the right, but instead of jumping to different like star points, you go to different islands. And every island is a little village that you have to protect. So I'm getting ahead of myself. The Steam tags are real-time tactics, roguelite, apparently I misread it, minimalist, cute. And honestly, those are that's the most apt description for this game. It's really awesome. It's very minimalist. The art style is pretty, I don't want to call it plain. It's very simple, and it's nice. Like, I really like it. It's a very clean looking, just simple color palette. Nothing's too crazy. But basically, so you have a number of different little soldier divisions that you can deploy every island. So you can do multiple islands in a turn, but you have to have enough troops to actually do that, because a trooper set can only go to one island per turn. Basically, every map is different. So there's like different topography. There's like little ramps to go up on cliffs. There's little hills. It might all be flat. There might be like ruins. So there's like walls that are blocking areas and stuff like that. Every map's different. I think they're procedurally generated, but I could be wrong. And then on every island is a bunch of like houses. And so your goal is to protect those houses, because for every house that lives till the end of the mission, you get gold. And the gold, once you build up enough gold, you can use it to upgrade your troops. So when you start off, you have little, I think it's like little 6-man squads of like derpy dudes with a sword, you know? And then they're just like, yeah, I hope I kill the Vikings, die. But then you can upgrade them into 3 different classes. You'll have sword and shield guys who have a kind of like a weaker offense but a strong defense. You've got pikemen who have like, naturally like long spear like weapons, who have bad defense but are amazing at offense. Mm-hmm. And then they're kind of finicky. And then you have archers. And archers, that's pretty self-explanatory. They shoot arrows at people, and the more you upgrade them, the more accurately they actually shoot at people, because in the beginning, their little toothpicks are just all over the place and they don't hit anything. But so that's kind of the basis of the thing. As you progress through the game, the islands become more varied, like they'll get bigger. They have a lot more variety in the topography, but also the type of Viking raiders that come to attack will become more varied, but also like tougher. So when it starts out, there's just like little, I guess you could compare them to like the derpy guys that you start with, where they just have a helmet and a sword and they're like, and they come charging in. But later on, the Vikings get their own sword and shield guys. They get their own like berserker warriors that like they'll lunge across an area. So like if you're trying to send guys to stop them, they might like lunge into your force, because when you're moving your troops, they are vulnerable. So you basically want to try to have them engage Vikings in a stationary position. Mm-hmm. And so the berserker guys might like lunge at you while you're trying to move your troops when you think you have time, but you don't. They get archers. In the late game, they get this crazy unit that's like a super archer. It's like a really tall guy, and he has like this huge, like I'm thinking like the Dark Souls, like the giant the Dragon Slayer bow. You know what I'm talking about? Where the guy has to like set it down and then pull it and shoot it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's huge. In my opinion, it is the most broken enemy to fight in the whole game, because usually the sword and shield guys, they do like a little phalanx thing and they'll protect themselves from arrows, right? Mm-hmm. But nothing protects you from giant slayer arrows. There is no escape. And so like,
is it like ballista bolt type level?
Yes. So like my guys are like trying to take cover. Like I'll have them be scattering so they can hide behind houses and walls and stuff. And as they're moving, it's just doom, and you see this thing fly across the map, and 2 or 3 men get pegged by it, and you're like, no. Because one of the upgrades as you're upgrading your troopers is the number of troops in their little contingent increases. So like it goes from like 6 to 9 to like 12. I think 12 is the maximum per group. Mm-hmm. And so like as the number of troops in each of those contingents will recharge every mission, but sometimes you might take some heavy losses during that mission. And if you have multiple groups, I mean, you can do it even if you don't have multiple groups. It's just not a good idea. You can have them go and rest in one of the houses that's available. So they'll be out of commission for like, I don't know, 10 to 20 seconds, basically, which I guess is a long time in game time. So like it'll get a little timer that's going around as it replenishes its troops. I don't know how you resurrect men from the dead, but
Don't worry about
I don't know how I don't know how the Vikings and the Nordic people did it, but they have a way. And so they bring back their men, and yeah, it gets a little crazy. It is real time, so the whole thing, there is no pausing this game. So it gives you like maybe like 15 seconds to look at the map before you hear like this like war horn go off in the distance, and it's like and then out of the fog start coming the Viking ships, and they come from all different directions, so you have to kind of be familiar with the map to determine where do I need to put my troops to stop them. And like, you know, so I was always trying to create like bottlenecks and stuff like that. Like if all the houses were up on a hill, I would put like my pikemen at the very top of the ramp. So as they're coming up, they have to go single file up the ramp, and my pikemen are just knocking them off the cliff, like, take that. But sometimes it's not always that easy, and there'll be like some of the later maps, it gets really complicated where like you'll have a ramp up onto one platform, and then like a little spiral guy that goes around another thing. So like they can go all the way to the top of a cliff just in one little segment. And I'm like, how do I stop that? You know? And so it gets pretty crazy. I honestly, I loved this game. First off, like I said, it gave me the FTL vibes, and I love FTL. It does have like a permadeath mode, which I didn't play, because it seemed really hard. Because basically, so as you're progressing through the map, you start off with basically 2 trooper contingents, you know? And like I said, a trooper contingent can only fight on one island per turn, then you have to let them rest. But as you're going, you can find islands in the path that will have other troop contingents that you can recruit. So basically, you go to help that island, and when you first get there, this troop group will help you out in defending their island. And then they'll join you in your crusade to survive, I guess.
Nice.
But with permadeath, if an entire unit gets knocked out, they're out. They're gone. Gone skis.
No. None of this timed resurrection.
Yeah, there's no coming back once because basically like they can get killed down to their last person, which is the leader. And if the leader dies, it makes this really sad sounding like oh sound, you know? Like it's really dramatic, and it made me so upset whenever people died. But if you're not doing permadeath and you like everybody dies, you can restart the map and try again. But on permadeath mode, if everybody dies, they're dead, and you have to try to conquer that island again, or try to beat that island again without those people because they're gone. So it is possible to lose. Apparently, it also has a retreat mechanic that I didn't really master. So I don't know if you retreat, if you can still progress down the trail, kind of thing. Like you just don't get the gold for the island. So naturally, I had to restart missions a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Bad North. So I know, Erica, you said that you watched me play some of this. So what were some of your thoughts on this?
It's really cute. I like that it actually has the cute tag in Steam, because it actually is really, really cute. Yeah, I mean, that's all I really had to say. Like, I want to play it. And you said it was like FTL, and I saw when you were playing it had that kind of, like the enemy fleet is chasing you type thing. In FTL, it has like that dotted line. It has that same type of mechanic in this, right? What does that actually do?
So that I'm not entirely sure. I never got caught by that wave, but the wave thing, like in FTL, you know, it was always like a set, like a curve that was always crossing the map. With this one, every time it moves, you can see all the lines, like for where it's going to move, like next turn, basically.
Okay.
And sometimes it might like move and encompass like 2 or 3 islands in one. Sometimes it might like scooch up and just take one island, you know. And so it'll just constantly be moving forward. I'm pretty sure that, much like FTL, well, in FTL you don't lose if the enemy fleet catches you.
Yeah, it just gets
it's just you're
harder.
more likely to lose.
Right, yeah.
I think in this one, I want to say if the Viking horde catches up to you, you do lose.
Okay.
Like, so I think the whole point of this mission, well, I actually beat it. I managed to win one run. Just one. Basically, the whole point of this is you're trying to gather enough troops to like make a last stand on an island, because like the final island is called the Last Stand.
Okay.
And so with that one, it's basically you can bring the maximum number of troop contingents you can bring to a map is 4. So you have to pick your 4 best guys and send them to this map, and it's just try not to die as like the largest swarm of enemies you can encounter, come down upon you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really great. I do think it's cool. Like there's a lot of different weather types you can encounter. So like you can find like snowy islands, and there's raining ones and sunny ones and all that. And the map, like the way that the troops move, like your troops and the enemy troops on the map actually impact things. So like they'll make little trails in the snow. And like as your men and their men are dying, the ground will be stained with blood.
Oh.
So like the really long missions, the island's basically red by the end of it, and you're like, oh goodness, what have we done here? We survived, but at what cost?
Right.
But yeah, so that's Bad North by Plausible Concept. I really loved it. You can get it on Steam, probably GOG. I don't know how this would translate to console, but I could see it working out, because the way that you move your troops is it's a little grid system. So there's every square is like a little tile you can move your guys to. So it could work on console too. But
yeah, I think it is on pretty much everything. PC, Switch, Xbox One, iOS, and Android.
There you go. I didn't think about that, but this would definitely make a decent mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
So, Erica, what were you up to this week?
So this week I played a game called Framed. Well, it's the Framed collection. So there's 2 like stories in this, and I only played through one of them. But it's Framed collection. The developer is Love Shack Entertainment, and the publisher is Fellow Traveler. On Steam, the tags are indie, casual, adventure, puzzle, noir, and heist.
Ooh.
So what really made me want to play this game was just seeing some of like the clips from the game, and basically what it looks like and what you play through is like comic book. What are they called? Like the little squares? Frames?
Yeah.
Are they frames? That's why it's called Framed.
Hey.
Go figure. So you play through comic book frames, and it's all about, at least, I don't want to like spoil the story, but it's all about just 2 people trying to perform a heist, and they're running through the frames with the little briefcase that they stole.
Oh man.
And the way you get them through each page of frames is different. So the comic book will animate, and it'll show what's going to happen if it's in, if it's left in the order that it's in, and usually like a cop will catch them. And so you have to rearrange the frames in certain ways so that things happen before, the timeline is different, so that they can climb up the stairs before walking in front of the cop, so that, the cop doesn't see them because they're on a higher level now. So that was really cool. Towards the end, it got really intense where you had to move frames as the scene was playing out. So at the beginning, you could just be like, okay, well, that it should be 1, 2, 3. These are 1, 2, 3, and the order should be 2, 3, 1, and you just place them, and you play it through, and it's fine. And then you get to like the end, and it's like, okay, well, she has to go. Like there was one where she's on a train, and she had to pick up 3 pieces of like a disguise so that when she got off the train, they wouldn't recognize her. And oh my god, I was sitting there in like a perpetual loop, because every time they walk by something that they can interact with, so ladders or stairs or a door or a pipe they can climb up or a little vent they can crawl through, they will interact with it. So every time she would pick something up, so it was a hat, sunglasses, and like a coat. And so she walks into the coat room and takes the coat off the hook. And then she walks by a guy that's wearing sunglasses and she steals the sunglasses. But she'll put her hat down on the table in front of him. And the next room is like a closet type thing, and it has a hanger. And so if she goes in there, she'll put the coat down. And so you had to, like, I was just going through this over and over, and every time, like, she was dropping something, and, like, I was like, okay, how do I get this to where she picks all 3 of them up? Because basically you have to pick it up and then not go to a place where she'll put it down, because there's only specific places that she'll put things. And so it was just me sitting there, like, and so every time you pick up a frame and move it, like, the time freezes so that you can actually move the frame into where it's supposed to be. But, like, I was just, like, moving 2 frames around over and over again, and it wasn't working, and I couldn't figure out, like, that one took me a while to figure out. Finally, I got her off the train without being caught. But yeah, so I loved this game. I need to play the second part to see how the story concludes, because I feel like it kind of left you on a cliffhanger in the first part. But another mechanic that's also in there is that you can rotate some frames. And so there was one that I also had a lot of trouble on, where she's walking through, like, different streets, and there's cops at certain corners looking down a certain way of the street. And so there's, like, she can go straight across this intersection. At this next intersection, she can turn right, and, you know, the things like that. But if she turns right, then that means in the next intersection, she's coming in from the right. So if there's a cop staring that way, then that's not going to work. And so that one took a while too, because it had 2 long frames that could either be, like, long up and down or long side to side. And the positioning of, if you had it up and down, it would do, like, so if it was, like, 3 frames long and 2 high, so it would do short frame. And if there was a long frame, like, you would read left to right, right? But if it was short frame and then there was a long frame taking up 2 spots, it would jump down to the second row and do the next short frame before it went into the long frame. And it took me a bit to figure out the order of where she was going to go based on the orientation of the frames. But I loved this game. The art style is really cute. It's very comic bookish, and the characters are all black and white, and they have, like, they're completely black, and then they have, like, an accent that's white. So the lady has a flower on her hat, and the guy has, like, a tie on or something. And other than that, they're just completely black. And you're trying to go through this city with this briefcase and not get caught.
Yeah, it was.
Sounds like
it was really great, honestly. Like, I watched her play, like, I guess the first half of it, and it was pretty crazy. Like I said, it's my whole thing with this game was, like, what kind of a police department does this city have? There are cops in every building. They are at every window, on every rooftop. Like, what kind of police response? Like, did these people steal, like, the crown jewels or something, and that's why, like, there are cops everywhere trying to get them? It was pretty nuts. And then yeah, watching, I did watch part of the stuff when you were starting to move the frames while things were happening, and it was like shuffling cards. You're just like, okay, this back over there, back over there, back over there, back over there, and it just got pretty crazy. But yeah, it was really cool. I honestly really liked it. I would definitely want to watch you play the second half.
Yeah, and something I guess I forgot to mention is the music, the soundtrack in this. It's like that, like, noir detective kind of, like, jazz type of music in the background as you're playing through it. So it's really great music. It's got a great soundtrack to it too. But yeah, so that was Framed. So I played Framed 1, and this is the Framed collection on Steam, by Love Shack Entertainment and Fellow Traveler.
Very nice. Very nice.
So
sounds like a really good time.
So what did you play, Jacob?
Oh, what did I play? I played a game called Lenna's Inception. I played it through itch.io, but you can play it it's available on Steam. And its Steam tags are action, adventure, RPG, indie, and pixel graphics. And so the first thing that came to mind when I booted this game up was, oh my gosh, this is Link to the Past. and like it definitely has that feel to it, where you're like there are little preset areas. It's so first off, I want to start with story before I get into other things. So you start out as Lenna. You are a school teacher, basically. That's what you are. You're a school teacher. And you get called away to go do something. And when you come back to your school, it's broken. It's just gone.
Like,
actually, it's glitched.
Oh, okay.
There's something happening to the world that it's like the game knows it's a video game. And so like everything is glitching.
Okay.
And so she's freaking out. It's like, oh my gosh, what happened to my students? And so she goes to get to go find, the legendary hero in the game. So she goes to the elder, and the elder is supposed to be, the guy who gives you your first sword in the Zelda games.
It's like, dangerous to go alone guy.
It's dangerous to go alone, except he's dead.
Oh no.
And it's dangerous to go alone is written in his blood.
Oh god.
On the floor.
Wow.
It gets like, I got to that part, I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of these games. Like, I thought it was gonna be terrifying. It's really not. It's kind of cutesy and whimsical. It doesn't really take itself that seriously, but that's, at that point, you get the sword. And the message you're told is you need to take this to the legendary hero. He's waiting at this place. And it's like, okay. So you go and you meet him. You give him the sword. Legendary hero is a dunce. Like, has no idea what in the world is going on. Doesn't know anything. And legendary hero dies like the first monster you encounter.
Oh gosh.
So then it's like, oh crap, and it's left to Lenna to basically fill the role of the legendary hero and go out and figure out what's going on.
Well, yeah, the plot twist is that she was the legendary hero all along.
But she wasn't the chosen hero. She was, it's the hero the world needed. But no, it's really great. There's so the premise is that something's happening to the world. It's glitching up. The balance has been thrown, basically.
Okay.
The what is it? The chairman of the banking guilds has overthrown the prince and like has allowed for these crazy beings, which are the bosses, they're called archangels, to come into the world. Okay. And there is a leader archangel that looks like Cthulhu. It's really weird. Like, he's wearing a cloak, has a reaper's scythe, and it looks like tentacles coming out of his hood. You don't know his name yet, at least not to the point that I've gotten. Mm-hmm. But he's the one like who's calling up all these archangels to do things, and oh my goodness. Yeah, so he's in charge of everything, and your job is to go through the boss areas, because like you can ask for help, of course. Like, you have a cell phone that you picked up off the dead hero because you need it.
Okay.
And you can call the elder who's calling from beyond the grave to give you hints on where to go. Nice. And like what to do. And so, from what I gathered, your mission is to defeat the archangels and free the prince and set order back to the world again. And it really has that Link to the Past feel, or that Zelda feel, really, where every dungeon you go to gives you a new item that lets you further, traverse the world. Yeah. Like, the latest one I got was swim shorts. That lets you swim.
Very nice.
So you can cross like water bodies, and it's that kind of thing. As you play the game, you'll unlock more of the world through items you get. There's also little side objectives. There's a librarian who wants you to pick up, overdue library books that you find throughout the world. There's an upgrade mechanic that you can use on your weapons, or that you can use to make new weapons. That it's meteorites fall, from the sky.
Okay.
And you pick them up. Excuse me. And you take them to the blacksmith, and he'll make you a better weapon or a better shield, or something like that. The potions, I think I'm totally using them wrong. I don't think they're meant to be drunk. I think they're meant to be hurled at enemies as weapons. Because I drank one, and it was literally called a hallucination potion.
Why would you drink it if it's called that?
Well, okay, that's the thing. They don't tell you what they are.
Oh, okay. Like you have to experiment with drugs.
You have to drink it to figure out what it is. Yeah. There's one. It's like, oh, this is a viscous yellow fluid. Yeah. This is a fizzy purple something. You have to drink them to figure out what they are, or use them in some form or fashion. I drank the hallucination potion in the middle of a dungeon, and it filled the room with bad guys.
But were they real, though? Or
they were real bad guys. They were hurting me, and I was like, oh my god, I have to clear the room now again. It was wild. It was hilarious. You can find different outfits throughout the world. Like, you don't unlock these. You kind of just find them, like, lying on the ground. Okay. I picked up one, and they don't tell you what they are until you put them on. There's one that's, it's a speed suit. So you move faster with it on. There's one called the explosion suit that you put it on and you blow up.
You just die.
Well, you don't die right away. You take damage from explosions. And I'm just like, what in the world is the point of this?
You could put it on really quickly if you were surrounded by enemies, I guess.
I guess. I don't know.
Risk reward, man. But, risk reward.
Maybe. But, I mean, I have bombs for that. It's whatever. There was another one I found called the growth suit. That it literally just takes your little 8 or 32-bit character, whichever style you decide to play the game in, because you can play in either 8-bit or 32-bit. Mm-hmm. And it takes your little character, and it grows it to fill up more of the area. And I was like, you know what? At this point, I'd already gone through like 2 suits, so I was like, you know what? I don't really know what I was expecting.
Oh,
but
so in that sense, then it's very Alice in Wonderland. As far as like the potions, like you have to drink them to know what they do.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's really fun. I probably will play it all the way through just to do it, and it's really fun.
This and looks like something that's totally up my alley. Like I love games that do not take themselves very seriously, and this one seems very very meta on itself.
Oh yeah, like after you beat an Archangel, one of the bosses, it plays a memory from the big baddie, because all of the Archangels that are out there are actually aspects of him.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was, he made this guy. He's like, all right, man, you're doing such a great job. Like, man, I want to celebrate. Let's call a pizza guy. Yeah, let's get a pizza over here. and literally, like, they call a pizza. And it's like, yeah, come here. And then he gets there, and the Archangel that he created, like, bursts out of the ground. It's like, pizza! And then, the pizza guy runs away. And it's just like, pizza guy! And the big baddie's like, oh, it's okay. Next time, or in the world that I create, you'll have all the pizza guys you can eat. And I was like, oh my god. They didn't order it for the pizza.
They ordered the pizza guy.
They ordered the pizza guy, and I was like, this is such a silly game. But it's really fun. It's really neat. I've been enjoying it. it doesn't take itself too seriously, and yeah, it's neat. There's small like events you can run across. Like there was one that it was straight up the three bears, Goldilocks and the three bears kind of thing. But it was, the three bears are fed up with this little blonde girl sleeping in their beds. so they hired like you and the town guard to like catch her in the act. It's great. It's really fun. I don't think I said who this is by. This is by Byton Studios, Bytten Studio. Bitten, something like that.
Either way.
And yeah, it's a really nice, maybe not a twist on the the legendary hero trope, but
it's more like a satire on it, right? Where it's kind of like paying homage to it while simultaneously making fun of it.
I mean, the name itself, right? Lena's Inception is Link's Awakening. Right.
I actually, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Like her beginning and Link's Awakening type.
Lenna's Inception versus Link's Awakening. Oh Lord.
Come on, guys.
The parallels, they just keep hitting, don't they? Anyway, so yes, that was Lena's Inception by Byton Studio. Really fun. Go check it out if you like things in the style of Link to the Past or, the original Zelda games where it's that pixel graphic, top-down, explore by area kind of thing.
I'm definitely going to grab it.
Oh, yeah? It's only like $10.
Hey.
Really, you don't need to grab it. You own it.
That's true. You played my copy. I have so many games in my library that I haven't touched yet.
Right.
But
Jesus. All right. So, well, that was all three of our games, correct? They all sounded really fun. Really, really interesting. I did Framed. Framed sounded like a very interesting style. I think I need to go check that one out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say that one's probably the most visually appealing out of all three. It just has such a neat visual niche.
Mm-hmm. But, so now we've come to the section of the program where we talk about a board game that we all played. And this week's board game was Trajan by... Who was it by?
Renegade Game Studios.
Trajan by Renegade Game Studios.
Yeah.
And it was... I thought it was really fun. I got some big Castles of Burgundy vibes off of it.
It did, right? It had a lot of that sort of kind of like interesting worker placement, resource scarcity sort of stuff, but like it wasn't exactly a worker placement game. Like that's why I'm kind of like I get your Castle of Burgundy vibes, because Castles of Burgundy isn't really a worker placement game either, because you like
and also
roll the dice to have your random action, you know.
But your two dice are technically your two workers, though.
Well, but anyway.
Yeah, so it's kind of
so we're all playing like Roman higher ups. Like we're part of the upper echelon of Roman society. That we're calling the shots. We're going to the Senate. We're trying to get votes, calling campaigns in Europe, and it's a whole bunch of like. The player's game board has, 6 little deals in it?
Yeah, little bowls. 6 little bowls.
That you have to move little pips in. The way you decide what you're going to do for the turn, I thought was a little complicated. But it made sense in, the grander scheme of the game.
Yeah, it was a bit weird because the way that you move the pips is how it's like the game Mancala, where when you take something out of a bowl, you have to take everything out of that bowl, and then you drop 1, 2, 3, 4, however many pips you got. And what was it? The bowl that you that you end in is the action that you take.
Action, yeah. Whether that be, go and move yourself up on the Senate, or go put a worker in construction, or go grab a construction tile if it's, or go call a military camp, go do military actions. And there were just, it did take some getting used to, the like how you called your turn, but like once you do it, you get used to it and you're like, okay. But
yeah, I
sometimes
really liked the way you did your turn, because in addition to, you know, whatever bowl you land in, that's the action you get to take. There's things called Trajan tiles that you start with 3, one next to every other bowl on your board, and they have specific like goals on them. So you're the little pips or marbles or whatever you're playing with, they have specific colors to them, and you have 2 of each of like 6 different colors, and you have to strategically think about which pile you're going to pick up and what color you're going to be dropping in each of the bowls as you go along, because you're trying to also get these Trajan tiles, because they have bonuses where some are just plain victory points. Here's, you know, if you get this one, you get 9 victory points. Some give you resources that you need at the end of the year, or quarter. I think it's quarter.
It's the year.
Okay.
Because you go, so with every pip you move in your little area, so if you pulled 3 pips out of one, you move the time tracker up 3 pips, and every round of the time tracker, you place a demand tile,
right,
which is a resource that the citizens are going to demand at the end of the 4th round?
Yes.
At the end of the 4th round of the time track, demands are called, and then you have to pony up, basically, and actually give resources that you've been gathering from either the forum the forum action was the one that we used all the time. Some of us a little too much.
You have to, it said in the instructions themselves that the game is both about planning your own decisions as well as harming other people from making their decisions.
Yeah, whatever. Some of us couldn't give food to the citizens when time called.
Yep. And some of us were fine and we had extra in storage. It's all about planning ahead.
And since there are 3 demands, you have to meet all 3 demands, or else you lose points. You don't gain anything from giving demands, but you lose points depending on how many you miss. If you miss all 3, you lose 15 points, and then it's 9.
Well, providing for your citizens, it's kind of like think about your basic job responsibilities. You know, like you do what's expected of you every day. No one's going to congratulate you for doing your base job. You know, but if you suddenly don't do your job, people are going to be pissed.
Yeah, they're gonna take notice, and they're not going to be happy with you. But I thought this is actually out of all of the games that we've played on this podcast, I've liked this one the most.
Okay.
This one, given more time, could be on my top 5 list. I enjoyed it that much.
Yeah, I really loved this game. It was great. Like, I loved the setting, you know, ancient Rome. What's not to love? I liked the different, like the concept that we're all, you know, high society Romans, and it's like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a merchant? Do you want to be in the Senate? Do you want to be a military leader? Like, where do you want to? Maybe a little bit of all of them. Why not?
How are you going to get your points? Come on.
Yeah. And so I loved that, where it's you have so many choices, and you can choose to, like, you know, just dump everything into one category, or you try to diversify your portfolio and see what's going to happen. And I think that's so great, because, like, I keep saying it because you said it that one time, it's that risk reward thing, you know? It's like, you know, you start doing random things that may not benefit you much now, but later down in the game, it might be a big bonus. Like, I started dumping into military stuff at the end, because as you get to the farther away territories from Rome, they're like worth
get
10
more
victory
points.
points apiece and stuff. So it's like, yeah, put me
Well,
there.
And that's why playing the Senate is basically the epitome of risk reward, because you don't get anything from the Senate tiles now.
Yeah.
And actually, when you think about it, you might not get anything from the Senate tiles when you're at the end of the game, because that's when the Senate tiles are actually tabulated.
Yeah.
When they actually count towards your score. Because all the Senate tiles they just give you extra points based on certain things. Like I had one that said, you get 9 points for having at least one of these tiles, and it would have a picture of what tile you need in your inventory. And there were ones where it's like you get extra points for having so many little pips out in the provinces, manning like legionnaires out in the provinces. But those are only tabulated at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So like playing the Senate, you get points at the moment, because you get points based on how far up the Senate track you get, as well as the votes that come with those to give you the plaque, the little
the bonus tiles.
The bonus tiles. But
yeah,
they are definitely not as give me the points right now as say trade is the seaport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Senate ones you definitely want to I guess vie for them early. That way you can actually plan around your bonuses. I mean, because when you're at the end of the game, if the bonus rolls around there, it's like, okay, well, I got this bonus tile now. I better hope I have the stuff to get the bonus.
Oh yeah, I like the ones that had trade goods on it, because that seems like something that's like, oh well, if I have two trade or two Senate tiles that each one of the trade Senate tiles has 2 things on it, that you're going to get bonus points for 2 things per tile.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have 2 tiles, that's 4 things I'm going to get bonuses for. So that incentivizes you to pull into trade, try and get more of those commodities out.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really fun. Again, we were plagued by the perpetual problem that we have, in which we didn't read the rules close enough.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't do scoring correctly, right?
Yeah, I think the way we were scoring the Senate track was wrong, and the way we were scoring the Trajan tiles themselves was wrong. Other than the scoring, though, I think we did pretty good. Because at the end it was a wash. We were all doing it the same way, so it didn't matter.
We played the game properly this time. We didn't score the game properly this time.
So it goes back to read the rules. Read the rules more closely this time. People
read the rules more closely. We're getting better. This is an upward sloping. This is an upward sloping graph. We're getting better at reading the rules.
Yeah, I definitely like this game. There's so many small things. I mean, you have 6 options on as far as your actions, but then those within themselves have different options, and it's a lot of thought. And like I said, I like the strategy of you don't just get a worker to place out there and make an action. You have to think about, okay, well, there's 3 beads in this bowl and 4 in this one. How far is that going to get me? And what action is it going to land on? What can I actually do with that? So it's not like, oh, I just get an action. You have to plan out based on your little bowls and however many little marbles or whatever's in them, where you're going to end up, and base your strategy off of that.
But
yeah,
I
really liked it.
I thought
go ahead.
No, I was gonna agree with Erica's observation on the options, the sheer amount of options you're given with each. You only have 6 actions really to choose from, but within those 6 actions,
there's a lot.
You have a multitude of other actions you can pick from, because each one has a variance on the actions themselves.
Yeah,
the seaport one is the example I'm going to use, where you could you drop the seaport and you can either draw from one of the face-up cards that is there, because you have, like, the way the commodities works is you have the deck that's face down, and you have 2 discard decks that you can pull from, but you can only pull 1 from those. Or you can draw 2. Is it 2 or 3?
You draw 2, and then you have to discard 1 from
and you
your
have to
hand.
put 1 back. You're only ever going to get 1 commodity per. But you could draw 2 and put and discard 1. Or third option, or you can actually go fulfill one of the trades and get your victory points for your commodities and ship them out. But that's 3 things you could do. Granted, 2 of those things are just variations on drawing. But still, that's like, it plays into, well, are there any face-up ones that I want? Yes, no. Will I get lucky with drawing a face-down one? Maybe. Do I have enough things in my hand to actually get me points?
Yeah.
The strategy goes...
Yeah, definitely.
It requires a bit more thought.
3 of the 6 things, 3 of the 6 bowls each had multiple things you could do with that action. Because like the Trajan one, you just draw a Trajan tile. The Forum, you buy a Forum tile. The Senate, you move up the Senate track. Right? Yeah. But all the other 3 each had like 2 to 3 different things you could do. So
yeah, the military
the
building,
construction and seaport.
Yeah, and the trading
didn't have or had multiple things you could do. But no, out of all the ones we played thus far, Trajan has been my favorite.
Yeah, it was really good.
I've really enjoyed it.
Was it 10 out of 10? So, we'll play again.
10 out of 10. We'll definitely play again. So Trajan by
Renegade Game Studio.
Trajan by Renegade Game Studios. It was really good. Lots of fun. Go pick it up for yourselves. Well, I think that's about it, right?
Yeah.
We've covered all of our 3 games and our board game.
Yeah.
So
I know between this episode and our next one is going to be Christmas. So
Christmas.
So everybody have a safe and happy holiday day, and we'll
have a holly jolly
see y'all after Christmas.
All right. Yep. All right.